Welcome to the High Performance Man podcast. I am your host, John Fayocavitz. On this show, I interview successful men who have built impressive careers and businesses, founders, CEOs, senior leaders, and professionals who have operated at a high level for years. We talk about what actually made them successful. So the goal is simple, to learn directly from the men who have done it so we can apply those insights into our own careers, businesses, and lives and continue raising our own standard of performance. The show is sponsored by the Prime Performance Method. The Prime Performance Method is designed specifically for high-performing men who have achieved success in their careers but feel like their body and energy have taken a hit along the way. I help busy professional men regain strength, lose weight, and feel younger within 8 weeks without long workouts, extreme dieting, or disrupting their schedule. So if you're a high-performing man who wants to feel strong and energized as you are successful, message me, John Fayocavitz, on LinkedIn. On today's show, we have Frank Agin, who is the president and founder of AmSpirit Business Connections, where he empowers business owners, sales reps, become successful and gain more referrals through networking. Kevin, thank you so much for joining our show today.
Well, my name is Frank.
Oh, Frank, sorry.
That's okay. You were rolling. You were doing great.
I don't even have that here. Yep, I don't know why I said that.
It's okay.
So, Frank.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. So my first question, Frank, is what's the most important lesson you've learned so far that helped you become successful?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Relationships are everything.
Okay.
And relationships are everything. You're connected to everything you ever want or need. Maybe not directly, but somewhere along the way. I tell my kids that they are miles ahead of me because I didn't figure out that until I was in my 30s. And, since the time they were in college, even in high school, they kind of got it. They got the whole relationship thing. And it's not what you know, it's more who you know. And it's even more importantly, what you do with those relationships. And I just kind of grew up figuring I just needed to do well in school and work hard and everything would come to me. And it's not that way. So,
How long have you had this business, Frank?
in one form or another, I've been involved since 95. So, it's going on 30 years for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. Been a long time.
And you've built and maintained a lot of relationships then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's ongoing, right? You never have enough. And, I just feel that the biggest thing I can do for my network is introduce people.
Right.
So,
Okay. So you're saying that the main thing that you in your marketing would be just word of mouth.
yeah, it's pretty much it. Yeah. That's how, before we got on here, my assistant handed me a couple notes. She says, this person heard about you this way. This person heard about you this way. This person's introducing you. And, that's the way it works.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Awesome. Okay. My next question. What do you think hinders a lot of men today from reaching their full potential?
Well, it's how much time do we have?
You just give me whatever I mean,
that's
why we go with the flow.
Right? Yeah, no, I think it can be summed up in one thing: discipline. Right? I think everybody's got good intentions. What was Mike Tyson saying? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face, right? Everybody, everybody wants to be in better shape. Everybody wants to have more money.
Right.
Everybody wants to get up tomorrow morning and work out until the alarm goes off at 5:45 or whenever. And it's like, yeah, I'll start tomorrow, right? And what they need to be doing is they need to be quitting tomorrow, right? I'm going to quit tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes, right?
Right.
And so it's discipline, not saving money. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to not smoke as much or drink as much. And it really comes down to discipline. I think that's the big thing. And it's too much social media. They burn their evenings away on things that really don't build value in their life. And
Right.
It just has a cascading effect. And I have no doubt you see this, right? It's but in one word, it's discipline.
Right. And when they start to do something in their business, they might quit. Is that what instead of being disciplined in what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they just, okay, that, well, you're in the podcasting world.
Yep.
The average podcast has 7 episodes or something like that. That's it. So people start it and like, I'm going to do a podcast and it's going to be a world changer for me. And they get 6, 7 episodes in and it hasn't changed anything and they quit. Right.
Right.
Same thing with getting in shape. Right. It's like, yeah,
Right.
I'm going to do push-ups every morning. Do
Right.
push-ups day 1, day 2, and they don't see any change. And it's like, well, that doesn't work. And it's the same thing in business. John, I've never seen somebody fail in business. I've never seen somebody, when I say fail, to that point where they just run out of money. They tried, they gave it a valiant effort, and it just didn't work out.
Right.
I've never seen that. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but I haven't seen it. What I see more than anything, John, is I
Mhm.
see people quitting, finding, you know what? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just easier to go get a job. I'm just going to get a job,
Yeah. It's that hard work type thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Discipline comes back to discipline.
And when you mentioned the social media, this is what gets me too, because I see it in my field all the time. The quick fixes that they think they're going to get.
Yeah.
Okay. That they can get somewhere and they think it's going to happen in a month or two. It takes work and it takes time.
Yep.
I mean, if you built your business in 30 years, you didn't get to where you were in one night.
No. So my wife said, you're going to be a 30-year overnight success.
That's a great one, man. That's a great one. Okay. So what did you do before you started this business? I mean, you said you were in this, was this?
Yeah. Well, I used to be an attorney.
Really?
Yeah, I live in Columbus, Ohio. I came here to go to law school. They have a program. I got my law degree and MBA at the same time, and left and was a tax attorney, a tax consultant for a lot of years. And decided I really didn't want to do taxes forever. And so I left and went into private practice. And getting into private practice, I stumbled across this business, AmSpirit Business Connections. It had a different name, but I was a member. I had an opportunity to buy it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna do this, and convince my wife that we would write the biggest check we've ever written and buy the business. And I decided I wasn't going to practice law anymore. Life's full of risks. You know what?
Well,
People
that's yeah.
people die every day.
Yeah.
John, you're going to die. I'm going to die. Life is risky. So I took that risk, and it's opened a lot of doors. I've written a lot of books, and
that is so awesome.
Yeah, podcasting, and
was it a franchise, Frank?
I sell franchises. Yeah, we have franchisees out there. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you don't have a dull day, do you?
No, I don't. Right. I'm 64. And I have no interest in retiring. I just redid the heating and air conditioning at my office, and I could have fixed it for, I don't know, I could have fixed it for a couple $1,000s, and I'm like, you know what? For $10,000, I get a 10-year warranty. I'm going to see that warranty through, right?
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So my next question. For most men on the road to business or professional success, other areas of their life get sacrificed. What has been one of the areas, if you've had one, that has suffered, and what have you done to be successful with now?
What has suffered?
I would think that this would be, again, since you've been in the business for 30 years, it might be something that it changes as it goes.
Yeah. The beautiful thing is I have been self-employed and I've called my own shots, right? So I've always worked out. When I was 10 years old, I had a bet with my cousin I could do 10 chin-ups. And so I had a week to prepare. And every time I went into my room, I did 3 chin-ups. And every time I left, I did 3 chin-ups. And by the end of a week, I could do 10, right? And that was pretty cool. And so I kept that going, and I've always got up, I always worked out, and I've continued that, and my wife's on board with that now, and my kids are all on board with it. They're in their 20s. I mean,
Okay.
it's great. we've been very frugal with money, just because, as a business person, you never know when you're going to get that next paycheck or next
Right.
drab of money. So you got to be careful with what you get. So you get discipline there. But I've called my own shots. My kids were not football or lacrosse like you coached,
Right.
but
Mhm.
my kids were soccer players, and they all played all the way up through college, Division III, and I never missed a game unless there was a conflict between two of the kids. I never missed a game just because I was self-employed, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to leave the office here at 5 o'clock to go to the game, knowing that I'm going to go home tonight, and I'm going to work from 9 till midnight or whatever, and so you have that ability. And I think that's the beautiful thing about, having your own business and being self-employed. So,
Right.
what have I sacrificed? Yeah, I probably sacrificed a corporate career. I have friends who, they're getting ready to retire. They've, and I could too, but
But you enjoy what you're doing.
oh, I love it. Yeah, I
I
haven't
mean,
worked.
that's the difference. I mean, you enjoy what you're doing, and like you said, you don't even think about retirement.
No,
Okay, it's not really a job for you. And like you said in the beginning, the relationships that you're building is part of it.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. It's at a point now where I find myself helping people who went to kindergarten with my kids, right? And it's exciting because these people are starting their lives and they've got young families, and it's I don't, I get paid through my business. People pay me, so I don't want to
mhm,
say I don't want to make it out to sound like it's this great generous offering. But it's exciting to help those people and to kind of help move other people forward.
okay. This is the question I would like to ask, just off me personally. Um, do you have, or have you had in your whole business and life? Do you have a routine that you like to do in the mornings and stuff?
Yeah, my alarm, yeah, pretty much. My alarm goes off at 4:45. Um, I'm usually up before then. It's just kind of conditioned. Even when I get to bed late, I'm still up about 4:45. Weekends, I wake up, body just kind of nudges me, time to get up.
Right.
And we have a dog. My wife and I will get up and we'll walk the dog for about 4 miles.
Mhm.
And then we'll come back and we'll do push-ups, core exercises, and then we'll lift for about 20 minutes.
Good.
Light weights, lots of reps. And so we finish all that up. It's probably 6:45 maybe,
Wow.
and then just get dressed. And if I tried to wait till the end of the day, John, I would come up with every excuse. So it's out of the
Every
way.
procrastination. And
Yep.
I'm the same. And that's why I asked the question, because I'm curious with myself, because I'm seeing a parallel between people who have not a strict morning routine or a routine, but they're disciplined, like you said.
Yeah.
And it's if you're disciplined and you could do those things every single day to make, then it seems like that's why you're successful.
Well, I would imagine there are some parallels there. People who
Right.
are successful in one thing, it tends to cascade into other things. And if you think about it in reverse, somebody who's not disciplined, right, and they're sleeping and they hit the snooze alarm till it's 9 o'clock, well, they've lost their time to work out. They've lost their time. For
Yeah.
some people, it might be, reading scripture or
Yeah.
journaling. They've lost all that time.
Right.
And so it just then cascades throughout the day. Whereas if you're disciplined, it you create these compartments where it's like, okay, I have time to do this, I have time to do this, I have time to do this. If I don't know that I like the weekends as much because it's not as structured, right? It's
Right.
during the week, it's like I've already been to a couple of meetings, already had calls, already done this. Whereas on the weekend, you don't kind of have that structure. And at the end of the Saturday, I'll be looking at, my wife, and it's like, it's 5 o'clock. I didn't do anything. It just you feel horrible,
Right.
you know?
Right. Well, man, that's awesome. All right, Mike, this is another question that gets people to think a little bit. Okay. Where do you find, or when do you find yourself most at peace?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm not stressed out. I, I will take time throughout the day, 10 minutes here and there, to just sit down and do nothing.
Okay.
There'll be times in the afternoon where I kind of feel like, okay, I'm a little taxed right now, and I just need to. I call it's like rebooting a computer.
Right.
And I might be trying to work on something, write a sentence or do a spreadsheet. It's like I can't. I'll go sit down. I'll just kind of, and I might even fall asleep. And I set my alarm, for 10 minutes, and I'm out, and then I'm back up, and it's like, all right, I'm ready to go. So I'm
There you
certainly
go.
at peace in those moments.
So you just take a couple minutes or whatever it takes to just be alone for a little bit and
Yeah.
regenerate.
Yeah. And I'm at peace in the car. I listen to
Okay.
podcasts. I'll listen to programs, motivational sorts of things. Um, and yeah, yeah. So I'll go to
Right.
church here and there. Go to church on
Right.
Sunday. Yeah.
Good. All right. My next one is, if you were to give one piece of advice to other men that are on the journey of achieving success, what would that be? Would it be
Yeah.
what you said at the beginning, discipline?
Well, I think discipline, but certainly discipline. But what I tell people is find something you're passionate about and go out and volunteer.
That is
Yeah, just go volunteer, because you're going to pull yourself out of your little world, and you're going to go elbow to elbow with other people who are passionate about what you do. And don't be calculating about it. Well, I'm trying to grow my business or what. Just go volunteer. It's, that giving back to the community is very healthy for you,
yeah.
physically and mentally.
Yeah.
But it'll grow your network, because you'll be amongst people who, even if they don't care about what you care about, are going to look at you and say, John, he really helps out the homeless. And I think that's such a positive thing. Me
Right.
personally, I don't care about the homeless. It's not my thing. But
Right.
but John is really great.
Right. That is awesome. I mean, that's the first step. Let's just go out and volunteer and do something. Get out of your realm.
Yep.
Okay. That is so okay. All right. Well, Frank, I want to tell you that's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Okay.
Thank you.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time. And again, the answers that you gave us are going to add some insight to us and young men or men trying to build their business and be successful. And this is why I created this podcast, so we can watch it and they can get the insights of what people have already built. Okay. Okay. As a reminder, everyone listening, this show is brought to you by the Prime Performance Method, where I help high-performing men rebuild their strength, energy, and confidence without sacrificing their careers. If you are ready to feel as strong in your body as you are a success in your business, message me at John Fayocavitz on LinkedIn. Until our next episode, perform strong in all areas of your life.